Okay, so it wasn't tomorrow. Sorry about that. Me again, as usual. But I'm doing it today, so I suppose that's something. So, where do we go from here with this stone tape, silica tape, water tape, whatever tape you want? How on earth do we make a recording onto a piece of stone? Rock, quartz, crystal, clay. Right, okay. So I've just said already, or yesterday, or the day before, that castles and stately homes and houses and battlefields are huge stone tape recorders. Okay, fair dues. Right, so when we're talking about rock and sunset, so we're already halfway there with the fact that silica is a semiconductor. But the redder the sandstone in a castle, stately home, the redder the clay in the ground, that means the redder the bricks, because bricks are made of clay, the more iron oxide there is in it, which is rust, which is magnetic. So actually, I'm there. A stone red sandstone building or a brick wall actually has the same properties as a cassette tape. Do you remember them? Cassette tape, mini DV tape in your camera, reel-to-reel tape. They're the same. Right, who'd have thought, approximately 100 years ago, that I could get a piece of sticky tape, acetate, which is silica tape, sticky, and I could sprinkle iron oxide particles onto it, rust, which is magnetic, that I could record onto it. Well, you can. You accept that. It's a cassette tape. It's a reel-to-reel tape. It holds a recording. Today's magic, I just keep saying it, today's magic will be tomorrow's science. And so I think you can record onto other items, including rocks and stones, as well as on a cassette tape. But now you accept you can record onto that. I couldn't pick up a piece of tape and hold it in my hand and talk, and it would record onto the tape. Why not? Because it has to go into a machine called a reel-to-reel tape recorder, a cassette recorder, a mini DV camera. And there's something in there that makes or helps to make a recording on the tape. What? The word that I use so much that I want to change the name of ghost. I've told you this before, guys, to energy, because that is the word. There is energy inside a tape recorder. It's got a battery in it, or you plug it into a 13 amp socket, and that's where the recording can be made in the cassette recorder or the tape recorder. Fine, you accept that. But okay, I have got bricks at the back of my oak panelling. But in other words, how do I make the recording onto the bricks in my farmhouse? Where does the energy come from to cause the recording? It comes from you. What? How? Because each one of us here, each human being, emits 2 kilowatts of electricity, or at least 2 kilowatts of electricity. Some humans emit more. Some people are more charismatic, energetic than others, and emit even more energy than the normal 2 kilowatts. There is actually, a few years ago now, there was an article in one of the newspapers. There was a lady called the Magnetic Lady, and she actually had a photograph in the paper she had spoons hanging from her chest. They stuck to her because she was more magnetic, more electric, more energetic than the rest of us. She could not get a job in IT because she messed up the computers. She blew them. They didn't work properly. She blew light bulbs. When she walked into a building, sometimes she would blow light bulbs. Ah, right. But the punchline of the story, guys, is this. At the end of the article, she said, the more stressed I get, the more light bulbs I blow. In other words, the more stressed she gets, the more energy, emotion that she emits, electromagnetic energy that blows the light bulbs. And that's where the energy comes from you, that makes the recording of you in the fabric of the building. Just think about it for a minute. The energy from you. Now, not only do we emit 2 kilowatts of electricity, but we have within us a power reservoir that we can use in time of crisis. I'm sure you've heard stories of a mother being able to lift a car off a child. I've got lots from you guys over the years. A Royal Marine about 15 years ago in Afghanistan, young lad driving a Land Rover at the front of the convoy, was blown up by an IED. His Land Rover turned upside down and rolled down the bank into a stream. He was still alive. He was severely injured, but he was strapped in. But the Land Rover was upside down in the stream and he was drowning. So, without waiting for anybody else, a Royal Marine sergeant from the next vehicle jumped out of his vehicle, ran down the bank and pulled the Land Rover out of the stream on his own. Yeah. I mean, no, it's true. If it had been on its wheels, even damaged, I could understand it. But no, it was upside down. The lad's still alive. And the Royal Marine Sergeant, of course, was given an award for saving the lad's life. Had a policeman in Derby Jail a few years ago that lifted a Ford Cortina off a biker in Derby. He was stood on the side of the road on duty when this bike came screaming round the bend the wrong way and lost it and skidded underneath the Ford Cortina. The Ford Cortina landed on top of the bike with the biker still on it. And the policeman saw the smoke coming out of the engine of the Ford Cortina and ran across the road and physically alone lifted the Ford Cortina from the engine, not at the back, from the front, the engine. And a passerby ran across the road and dragged the biker out. The policeman was in Derby Jail talking to me, and his words to me were, "Mate, it was feather light." And he said, the number of times I've been ribbed by my colleagues in the police station to come on outside, car park, let's see you do it. Because he said, I can't. But I did in time of crisis. And that's when we are physically and mentally capable of harnessing all of that 2 kilowatts and more in time of crisis to do supernatural things, superhuman things that we can't normally do. To be able to lift a car, to be able to lift a Land Rover is impossible. And basically the most traumatic thing that's ever going to happen to you guys is death. And I don't mean 93 years of age, dying peacefully in a nursing home. No, I'm talking about the 5 ingredients that make up a recording. Murder, suicide, accidents, battles, executions. The energy that your body, is capable of harnessing to keep you alive in time of crisis is known as a death flash. And it's the energy from you that causes a recording in the fabric of the building. As we are dying, especially traumatically and tragically, our body emits 1,000 times more protons as we are dying than we do in our normal living state. Those 1,000 protons are capable of creating 100 volts, which can light a 5-watt light bulb. That is the energy that the human body is capable of emitting in time of crisis. But it doesn't have to be just crisis. I believe it can be excuse me, any form of emotion. Perhaps happiness, celebration. Perhaps your football team beat another football team 5-0, and you are so excited and elated that the energy that comes from you could possibly cause a recording in the fabric, perhaps in your home or wherever you happen to be, in the pub or whatever. It's possible. I'm not saying any of it is. It isn't a theory, guys. It's not proven. But I think that I am on the right track. I am getting fantastic comments back from you guys offering to help me, because as I've said already, I left school at 15. I hated school. I loathed science. I loathed physics. And I'm now trying my best to get into quantum physics, and holographic universes and interconnectivity and entanglement. And it's difficult. It's very difficult for a guy like me, I'll be very honest with you. So any help I can get, and it's coming. I've already had a couple of guys that have offered big time. A young lady rang me today, and she's doing a PhD at the moment in quantum physics. She's a paranormal investigator as well, and I'm dead excited, very excited about her offer of help, because she is singing from the same hymn sheet as me. And I believe there are an awful lot of other people out there, some of you guys, a lot of you guys, because the amazing thing is that when I do my talk, because I do this talk all the time, and I do get very few people that actually throw spanners in my works. I get an awful lot of people that say they think I might well be on the right track, but there's so much more to it. I've got lots more to tell you guys. As I said the other night, I'm not going to bombard you with it all at the same time. Enough, I think, for tonight. Digest it, watch it a few times if you'd like, and any help you can give me, I'd be more than appreciative of. You can obviously do it on YouTube, but my email address is richardfelix@gmx.com. richardfelix@gmx.com. The last thing I want to say before we go any farther is a lot of the comments I'm having from you guys is that you're saying to me, you seem to get the impression that I'm saying that all ghosts are nothing more than a recording. I'm not. I'm saying that there's various other stuff. I'm saying that I believe that the biggest percentage of ghosts that we see and hear, remember, you can't smell a ghost, you can't smell a recording, you can't sense a recording, and you can't feel a recording. And people are saying, well, what about ghosts that come back to you? What about they're an intelligence? That's different. I reckon that makes up approximately 40% of ghosts. An intelligence that knows we're there, that can interact with us, that are either on another dimension, another frequency, another spiritual level, another spiritual plane, another frequency, if I didn't say it already, or dimension, or another time zone. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a lot of ghosts are nothing more than a recording held in the fabric of the building, or in the clay, or in the soil. Battlefield ghosts, there's one. the number of recordings. Tomorrow. Promise. See you guys. Do sleep well. Don't have nightmares.